The triumphant return. Yep. It's going to be something. Very exciting. Can't wait. You know, all I do is yap, so it just makes sense to just do it. Literally just fucking yap. Get paid to yap now. That's super fun and exciting. Okay, let me just check the stream manager, make sure it's all good to go. Comedy, tee-hee-hee-hee. Go live streaming, stream, title and category. This is accurate. Let me see. This one, yeah. Okay, cool. I think we're just about good to go. You know, I've been meaning to come back. I've been watching so many of my cool people that I know now thing. And 3, 2, 1. Welcome everyone to the triumphant return of the Earth to Mars podcast. I'm your host, Marz. And this is something I've been meaning to do for a little bit. It's been long in the waiting. Literally, it stopped this podcast. When was the last episode ever? It had to have been back in like 2022. Jeez. Just looking right now. The last one we did, Earth to Mars, 2023. Oh, it was the one with Morgan, right? No. Felix. No. Yeah. It was Felix. February 26, 2022. So I'm actually pretty consistent because 2 days ago, 2 years ago was the last time I did this thing. So fairly consistent. And man, I had such a fucking blast making those. And like most things, I probably just stopped because I was like, meh. Couldn't find people. Didn't look to find people. Had that new year, like, let's fucking do it. So I think it's good I waited now. Instead of just starting right at the start of the new year, just give it a sec. Just let it wear off. See if I actually want to do this. So that's good. Yeah, but a big inspiration really has just been all the people around. So now, a couple updates since the last one. New room. Changed the studio around. We're in a different room now. Gonna bother to put this shit up. Who knows when? By the time you see this next one, it probably still won't be up, but it's fine. When I was taking the fucking posters down, I actually left a little fucking little nick in the drywall. Super fun. Very cool. Yeah, new room, new studio, new job. I think, yeah, by that time, damn, 2 years ago, what the fuck was I doing 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I was probably still working my corporate job, left that, had a very fun time working. This is very sarcastic. Had a time working with some big streamer person or whatever. That lasted a little bit. And really laid low the last year. Didn't really do a lot of stuff. Started working at the Riot. So I work at a comedy club now. I've been doing that since June last year-ish. Very fun, very interesting. And it's been weird coming from being someone who'd been seeing the comedy scene on like the sidelines to actually working it. It's very interesting. Very interesting working in the entertainment industry, and very interesting the like similarities of entertainment and streaming and content. So like I knew content from like a gaming esports perspective, right? Like you make content, you make your clips, you do the stuff. It's very fun. But this is like completely different. Like it's really weird and interesting seeing how like, you know, the content is different. So like, you know, when you're a comedian doing stuff, it's like the content is you on stage telling your jokes and then audience reactions and then interacting with the audience, right? Much like a streamer. A streamer is the same way where it's like, okay, it's the content that you're doing. So you're playing a game, your mouth and the stuff that you say kind of adds onto it, and then funny moments with the viewers, with the audience, right? So it's very similar in that sense. And then you're trying to make clips of interesting, funny moments and doing that, right? But it's very interesting when you think about how like comedians, they have a lot more control because it's literally them writing and thinking about what they're going to say and then actually doing it and putting it out there as opposed to content creators who maybe just want to like load up a fucking Call of Duty and stream it and just like, okay, I'm playing Call of Duty now, haha, oh, whoa, I died, haha, right? And like maybe not a lot of forethought into the actual content that they're putting out there, right? And this is very interesting. So I actually was on a discussion with, it was like a reply to a tweet by Snoopy, who runs Zygo Media Pipeline. He's like an old League of Legends pro who does a lot of kind of creator. He has like a business helping creators do stuff now. And it was interesting because he was saying there's a whole conversation now about the fucking Hassan saying that streaming is way harder than a 9-to-5 job, which is fucking... It's fucking crazy. Like, if his whole point is just the social need and like being drained and exhausted from talking and like the mental willpower of trying to come up with stuff to say and or the research and or talking and not making a fool of yourself in front of thousands of people, like, okay, I could see how it's draining in some ways, but obviously you're going to piss off a lot of people who have 9-to-5s where they're actually working with their fucking hands and sweating and doing things and having to deal with people. And customer service. Like, customer service, you have to deal with fucking people 8 hours a day and actually do stuff and move around and do things. So, like, kind of stupid and dumb. That's not to say that streaming doesn't have a lot going on to it, or content creation in general, right? So Snoopy was saying kind of, he had this graphic, which I won't pull up, but, I mean, I hypothetically could pull up, but... This is the fun of figuring out how to do a live podcast stream. But basically, if you go to Snoopy's thing, you could see how he has a whole little chart that says the simplified streamer journey, right? And if I figure out, let me just turn on studio mode, internet. Yeah, okay. I'm a fucking god. I can do it. Boom. So here you can see the oversimplified streamer journey, right? You start doing shit, and then you either get viewers or don't. 90% struggle here. But what he was saying is the biggest difference in today's journey is that it is even harder, and that today most streamers need to learn to become creators also. I respond, because I'm a professional fucking yapper, I respond saying basically... Streamers have always needed to become creators. Streamers are creators. The problem is their content, whether they know it or like it or not, is them not necessarily trying or knowing what they're like. If I just press play on a stream and start playing Call of Duty and then end stream, you made content. It's just... very simplified, like it's live content where if you don't even have a VOD or don't even upload it to YouTube, it's literally the content was just there. It's like ethereal, like you had to have been there to see it, and then it's gone forever, like a fucking concert, right? Except, you know, Beyonce does a concert, it's fucking thousands and thousands and thousands of people. You do a fucking Call of Duty stream to one person, and it's just you in another window with your side account. So my whole point there is that they've had to do it. The content's just different, right? They've always needed to kind of do this. It's just a matter of fact of knowing whether or not their content was the stuff, like what they needed to do or what the content was. So, yeah, I think streamers have always needed to become creators, as really they are one and the same. Like if you're a streamer, you're a creator. Your content is just this ephemeral, like, I'm streaming now. Okay, I'm gone. Look at that. Hey, refocus. Thank you. That was badass. So that's the difference, right? And so Snoopy responded back saying, yeah, I think those are really good. Those who are really good at the thing, like a game, can rely on streaming solely, but they benefit from thinking as creators. Generally, I see more streamers open to learning how to create good content now than ever. And I guess my whole thing is that person who's good at the game, sure, they will get viewers, but their content is still that. Like, they are a content creator because when they're streaming the game, it's them performing and doing that, right? So let's say like they make clip, like, I don't know, even if they only stream and all their stuff just only lives on Twitch, they're a creator. They're just not a good one, or a multifaceted, or a someone who does a lot of like what they need to be kind of doing as a creator, right? Whether they know it or not. That's my whole point, is whether they know it or not, they're being a creator. It's whether they're doing it correctly or just, I don't want to say ignorant, but don't know of all the other stuff that they could do. And there's a lot to it, right? And so That's always been an interesting thing. And so with comedians, it's like, hey, you're writing down this joke and I'm literally going to perform it, and hopefully I record it or get the recording, and then I'm going to put it out there, and then hopefully it's good moments, and then rinse and repeat. For streamers, it's, hey, I'm going to go live. And then the disconnect there is that I don't think a lot of streamers spend time before the stream figuring out what they're going to do on the stream. I think it's becoming more apparent now, or maybe it's just the mid-level creators who have already been putting stuff on YouTube, trying to make a lot of clips, have recognized that it's kind of what they need to do. So maybe they've just kind of been doing that now, or there's this kept building upon that foundation. But a lot of people probably just don't think outside of their streams. The thing to realize is that, like, it's like some crazy percentage of streamers are like 90% plus streamers are like on a platform. I think Twitch specifically is like 1 viewer, 1 to 10 viewers. So it's like the vast majority of people are there just like, it's the inverted, it's just like a triangle. Like literally everyone's at the fucking bottom, and then the stuff for actively creating content. But I mean, I guess really the only way to get seen is by having your stuff go out there, and that's kind of been the meta ever since TikTok and stuff started taking over. Short form, like vertical content has started taking over, where it's like, hey, if you're not putting your stuff on these platforms that actually can get you exposure, you're not going to get exposed. I'm kind of rehashing a lot of stuff that I was saying back in fucking 2022, I'm sure 2022, 2020. So a lot of that isn't super necessarily new. I think the only interesting developments as far as maybe gaming or online content creation has been maybe just the advent of like new platforms. So like you have Kick now, that was a thing like what, a year or so ago that came out, that was crazy. And just seeing how that has kind of evolved, and seeing how those streamers on Kick have now turned into kind of, it's like reality shows. They're basically turning into like the Road Rules, fucking, I only know Jersey Shore, it was reality TV shows, stuff like that, right? Where it's just trashy TV drama bullshit. But I mean, if that's the place for it, that's gonna be the place for it. And I think that's really the only cool thing. I mean, there's been interesting new like creators like Jinxie, who I've literally never seen anything about this person. I've just seen their name come up over and over and over and over and over and over. And I literally have no idea who the fuck this person was. I don't even know what they game. I don't know what game they do. I don't know anything about this person. They just kind of blew up and started winning awards. I'm like, okay. And that's probably just how it's going to be. Like, people are just going to fucking blow up. Like, I literally could not tell you what game Jinxie streams or what they did, but now they're like one of the most viewed people ever. It's just like, okay, what the fuck? And then you have people like Kai Cenat, iShowSpeed, just still fucking crazy pillars of like this new age of people that became popular 2023, 2020-ish. And it's crazy. I mean, it's cool. It's very interesting. And then, yeah, it's very interesting. So relating it back to kind of now where I'm in the scene, the comedy scene, and kind of like thinking about it, it's very interesting how they're kind of entertainers, but like they're actually getting paid for their entertainment. Like, I actually started making money now doing some tiny little shows here and there. So literally like my first $20 or whatever I made in like December, which would have been what, 6 months basically into doing, not even, August, September. So I started like last year, August, kind of seriously taking stand up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4-ish months. Yeah, in like 4-ish months, first paid gig, and then January, February started getting a couple more paid gigs and stuff. So very interesting. I say paid gigs, just like 1 to 2 shows, but it's cool. It's very interesting. So that's been fun. And it's been very interesting. It's so crazy because like I've been on streams where it's thousands and thousands of people, and I literally have to entertain and talk to them, and it's like whatever. Like literally I'll just shoot the shit, talk to chat, have funny witty remarks, blah blah blah. And then when it's like in an open mic or like a show where it's like 7 people in the audience, like it's like fuck, like, because I don't know what it is too, because I don't think I'm necessarily scared of the crowd or the audience. I think it's more just, it's just my own delivering and confidence of me delivering my own stuff, more so maybe than the audience. Like, I don't necessarily care about the audience. It's kind of like, because once I'm on stage, like I'm just fucking doing it. It's just a matter of like that build up. It's been very interesting talking to some people about how rehearsing and how to like prep for shows, and how it kind of really depends where you're at. Like if you're able to do a lot of go up a lot on stage, then that's a lot of the practice of rehearsing you'll do. But I don't know, the point that I'm at, I'm still like literally figuring out how to say the stuff that I want to say correctly and the way that I want to say it. So it's a lot of still for me rehearsing, and I'm sure rehearsing never fucking goes away. Like I feel like you have to be able to fucking say what you're gonna say, and I'm only doing like 5, 7, 8. I did 1 10-minute show, so it's like, yeah, I don't fucking know. Like I need to practice this shit. I'm like actively writing this shit as I'm coming up with it, and part of the problem is also I don't write. No bueno. But fuck it. This is like live writing. This is like live yapping. It's actually crazy to think that I've been getting paid money to literally fucking yap. Literally run my fucking mouth. I've been giving y'all free fucking content for years, just running my fucking mouth in Discord, making the hee-hees and ha-has. But I don't know, man. I'm literally... My whole life, I've never been competitive about anything. I literally never cared about whatever bullshit karate I was in, whatever bullshit sports at school, whatever bullshit fucking academics. I didn't give a fuck. Smash, you could argue I really didn't actually care. I kind of cared about being a commentator and like knowing things about commentary, but I didn't fucking care about like I was 0-2 always, like every fucking tournament. Like it was, the social aspect was fun for me, but like I didn't have that fire in my loins to try to like super do well, as made evident by the fact that I didn't fucking super care. I was having fun. But then with comedy, it's always like, I don't know, man. I was like, whenever someone ever brought up that someone was funnier, I'm just like, I'm fucking funnier than that person. It was just crazy. Like I literally was just like, I fucking, something about it. There was always like one person that people would like joke like, oh, I mean, he's kind of funnier, and I was just like, no. So I think that really does it for me. And so like even here, I was like, it's so frustrating how like I know or think the delusion of like, I'm so much fucking funnier than these people know. Like I need to fucking it's really fun seeing how like you need that delusion, because that's like the drive. It's like the drive. I don't know where people get their competitive drive from. It's probably from trying to be the best or show that they are the best or show that they are good. So maybe I'm just coming to terms with never having been super competitive about shit. Like career, like I don't give a what I'm going to be the best consultant in the firm. That doesn't super excite me as much as I want to show people that I'm fucking funny. And it's like it's so fucking like I know how to do it, and I know how to be witty and do the stuff. It's just a matter of like writing it and then performing it and saying it in the way that I know that I would do it, or coming up with ways in my act to better show off and showcase where my skills or talent is. So it's been really fucking fun, really fucking interesting. This whole fucking this whole fucking journey from like starting for literally. And so it's crazy because I started the first time I ever did stand up 2021. It was at the end of an open mic. There was me, I think my girlfriend who was recording, and then like the host, and then maybe one other person, like 2 other people. And I have the recording. Thank God I have the recording of my first ever, like basically a lot of my shows, but that first ever one. And it was a shit show. It was like, man, a lot of like, and it was just like, whatever. And then I never did it again for another year. I think this was now 2022. Yeah, it was 2022. And then I went up twice. I went up one night at an open mic, again, last of the list, and then went up again. And then I think one of the ones I went, of those 2, when I came back into it, I was like on the list, but I think they skipped my name or didn't know how to say my name or didn't say my name. And then I probably just got like perpetually bumped towards the end. I was like, God damn it. So I'm like performing for the host dog, my friend, maybe 2 other people in the fucking thing. And let me tell you, that dog's tail was not fucking wagging. All right. It was dog shit. And then I did it again, dog shit. And then I just never did it again. I just never went back up to doing it. And then I started working at the Riot. And then obviously if you're working at a fucking comedy club, you're gonna have some inclination to kind of want to fucking go back up and do it. So that's what I did, and just kept at it. Having that accountability of people that I work with, people that I go out with, saying like, yo, like go up more, do some more stuff, go to these shows. That's one thing I'll say. The Houston comedy scene's been super fucking awesome. Everyone's super fucking cool. Like everyone's nice. Everyone's just kind of everyone's kind of the same goal. Just want to go up on stage and try to do well, and then drink a lot, and then go up on stage, do some coke, and then drink a lot, and then go up on stage, and then at some point do some comedy, I think. Yeah. Nah, but it's cool. Literally, and I think one of the cool things is that some of the big pillars in the community are like people who are running the shows and stuff. Like they care about kind of bringing up the scene, and I think that's something that we got to kind of see more, especially in my club. Like just seeing how we can kind of build up that talent and have like a pipeline. Obviously, this is something where it's like you can't streamline someone's career. I think having opportunities for people to go up in front of quality audiences. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's interesting because I work at a club where the audiences are generally going to be like pretty good and in there. Obviously, we have our slow days, whatever. Everyone, I mean, fucking, you go to a Wednesday mic anywhere in the city, it's more than 7 people, and it's like one of those things building the scene. So it's like we kind of cultivated this thing, especially Friday, Saturdays. Obviously, we're like on and popping, so kind of translating that and seeing, but it's hard. It's like it's actually interesting when you think about it. It's like the ends of the scale as far as talent. It's like you have the places like the Improv, where it's literally headliners go there. It's going to be just headliners. Maybe like the Houston talent, like they have Houston AF, and like they'll have shows during the week, or maybe have like a stray headliner during the week, and then it's just headliner, right? Whereas there's other clubs where it's like, okay, they'll have the headliners on the weekends, but really the draw is the weekly events and shows that they have going on, where it's like multiple things, and then the open mics, right? So like Secret Group is literally the king of the fucking open mics. Too bad they're all at 10, 11, midnight. It's like, okay, whatever audiences you might have had for those other shows, gone. I mean, I wonder really if they would benefit from just having an open mic that's run in the middle of programming or at the beginning. Like, what if they did the set? What if so? Like, let's say for example, I'm just like spitballing, but let's say Secret Group, they do like an 8, a 10, and then like a midnight usually. Well, what if they made the 8 the open mic, and then the 10? And then I guess it'd be kind of ridiculous having a late night showcase. But I mean, we fucking do it. We have an 11 o'clock shows, so it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see how you can kind of cultivate that talent, like get the open micers in front of an actual group. I think really what it is just cultivating that scene, like cultivating, and like I was thinking about this today. I was like, man, like if there's content out there like, hey, do you know that thing on Netflix that you watch with your girlfriend when you're not, finger banging, and you want to laugh? Yeah, they do that in person. You can go watch that, not on Netflix. You can come to a fucking free show. So I think building up that audience and awareness within the city of like, hey, come support these people who are doing this incredibly hard thing. If you think you want to do it, come fucking help do it and watch it and see people fucking fail and try and fail and try and kill and fail and try. And then you can do it live, and then building up that audience of like, hey, come out, because you'll get like super fans. You'll get people that like really are interested in it and really wanting to do it. To watch it, but it's just a matter of kind of building it up. Like, I don't know, like I wonder what the audiences are like in those entertainment known towns of like LA and New York, where it's like that's like entertainment Hollywood and fucking New York Broadway bullshit, where it's like, hey, like I want to go out there and see people do stuff. So I just wonder how in a scene you can kind of cultivate that. Be like, hey, are you looking for this fun different activity to do and watch and see, and you want to see these people thrive or try to see these people before they like potentially blow up and see them working at this thing? It's an interesting thing. I don't know if maybe it's just like a hard sell, or I think it's something like, really what it must be, really, I think the angle you take is you say, hey, are you tired of being stuck to your phone? Are you tired of just being in the house cooped up? Are you tired of the computer and fucking Netflix? Well, come outside, come touch some grass, come touch a dirty, sticky bar floor and come out to a fucking show where you get to laugh in person and be around people and like, not necessarily the community. I mean, it is a community, but like be around other human beings, open up the living room to have fun with all these other people and enjoy life, like live in the moment and ha 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 ha. You can't be on your phone and being ha 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 at a show in person, right? So I think that'd be something, especially now that AI is going to go crazy and take over the world. It's like, hey, fuck AI. We're not AIing this shit. This is real life people bombing in fucking real life. So I think that could be a thing where it's like, hey, ditch the phones, ditch the Netflix, ditch the internet, come out to a show, come laugh, very fun, ha ha hee hee hoo hoo, and come out and have fun. I think that's what you'd have to kind of do and build it up. Other than just like running good shows, having comedians, and then the marketing aspect of it. So really like how to market that you're doing it, and then I guess with the marketing having that slant of ditch the phones, ditch the screens, boom, ditch the screens, ditch the phones, come out and laugh. Yeah, I think that's how you would do it. It's like because right now at the right, like we get a lot of like, it's a lot of date nights. It's like, hey, people trying to do something for a date night, so they'll come out, which is fine. I mean, fuck it, do your thing, play it. But I think that like that idea where it's like, okay, it's like a date, like the novelty of it, it's like, okay, the novelty of come out in real life and enjoy stuff, and then hey, hang out at the bar, come chat with these people, and then maybe a lot of people will do it just because they want to kind of go up to it, right? Like, I don't know, Kill Tony built its audience from being a super successful show that's been running for super long and people kind of know it, and then they have that live aspect of it, and then the rewatching and the rewatching aspect of it, right? So it's like, really, it's kind of, I don't know, man. It's like, it's definitely a marketing effort of like, hey, did you come out to this show? Did you have a good time? Okay. I think Lotto Marie in the scene, she does a good job of like, hey, did you like the show? Give us a testimonial, like literal live testimonials. Because I mean, we can have all the Google reviews we want, and then sure, people come out for date nights, but like, hey, how do we make you a fan of a comedian and a fan of a show where you're like, oh, I gotta be here. This is the fucking, like, I don't want to miss it. This is the show. And so we're trying to do that now with Swipe Right. We're trying to do that now with the roast. So our Swipe Right and our roast are super successful shows that we do at the club. And the roast, especially content-wise, is like, oh my God. It's like a content farm, content factory. It's blown up all our fucking channels and everything. So that aspect of like, how do we build a show? And I mean, obviously it's run a great show with great comedians, but then you can run a million great shows, and if no one knows about it, it doesn't fucking matter. You could have Trey Tutson at your fucking show. You can have Andy Huggins. You can have Jeff and all these people at your shows. But if they don't know that's happening, then it doesn't matter. Or people aren't there to see and bear witness of how fucking amazing You Look Like is, then they won't know. Now, thankfully, we're putting You Look Likes on YouTube so people can at least actually check that out. And that's badass, because now if they miss it, they can watch it. And that'll kind of grow that audience of people, like even just online, like, oh shit, I fucking love this shit. This shit is funny. And they keep watching and they keep rewatching to try to see where, like, how it does. So that's super cool and is an example of how to build up that kind of following. But you know, it's interesting. It's basically like run a good event, run a good thing, and then have the marketing out there. So I don't know. I mean, if I had to brainstorm ways to improve the marketing, one of the things to realize is that it's like hyper localized aspect of it, right? Like it's all local. Right. So like the marketing efforts should, especially if it's any paid stuff, it needs to be local, because like no one in Dallas fucking cares about shows that we're going to be doing here for the most part, unless they're a fan from having watched like the roast or something. Like maybe they'll come by, but it's not as important as the people in Houston. And Houston's one of the most fucking populated cities in the goddamn United States. So it's like the people are here. It's just a matter of that proposition of like, why should you come? And really, it's going to build, like, it's like we have to make rabid fans. We have to make fans of either the club or the people. Ideally both, but like, if you're a fan of the club, you could be a fan of the club because you find so many cool comedians and you get to watch them live, and then you get to watch some of your favorites live. Like if I was a fan of fucking Andy Huggins, holy shit, I can watch him at the Riot every now and then knowing that he's going to be at the Riot. So I mean, I guess part of it is knowing where these comedians having the assets to know the marketing assets to promo where they're going to be. Then us promoting, saying that these specific people are going to be there. And so we have 2 Instagrams for that. Like we have a content Instagram, and then we have like the, hey, this is specifically for the show, so we don't clog up the feed Instagram, which I still think is kind of like, it makes sense if maybe we had multiple clubs and it was like actually important to know what specific this location is going to have. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I could see it going both ways because I was working at Valhalla Esports Lounge, shout out Hans, and whenever we would post a flyer, we'd post a flyer, and then whenever the event was done, we would just hide the flyer because we didn't want it clogging up the feeds. And I think that's important. I think that's something like the secret group. I mean, this is just free game because, you know, that's all I fucking do is free game. But I feel like the secret group could definitely just benefit from just hiding their fucking posts. Like, I don't need to know what you guys did 7 weeks ago. Funnily enough, though, I do actually like to go to the older days to figure out what time shows are going to be. But... okay, so that would be the happy compromise. They should have like a weekly, here's what we're going to have this week with dates and times. And then maybe the day of, they're like, here's what we're doing day of. And then when it's the next day of, as you go to post, you just hide the last day. You just post today's. You keep that week one there in case someone wants to know what's going on for the week. And then that's kind of how you would run it. You post for the day. You would post for the day, keep the week one up, post for the day, hide, post for the day, hide, post for the day, hide, keep the week one up. I think that's what I would do. But then bringing it back to the Riots, like, we need to go back to, I had been making promo videos a long while ago, and the promo videos were literally just like cutting up segments of the show. So like in the room, we would have like this video play, like here's the shows for the week, which I think people didn't realize it was like here are the shows that we do. I think it needed to be better. First Monday, second Monday, whatever. Third Tuesday, second Tuesday, whatever. Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then headliners, and then just a sizzle reel of the headliners, and then that would probably be like an updated promo video. And then the individual promo videos, it's like, here, let's do a show that I hadn't done one for yet. It'd be like Hump Day. Wednesday, Hump Day, you go up, boom, it's like a shot of, oh, there's a comedian there. Lots of people, haha, laughing. Comedian, haha, hee hee. Hoo 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 hoo. Other comedians come on, ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha, laughing. Hump Day. Q&A with Trey. There should be a... okay, he's gonna come up. Oh, he's pulling stuff from the bucket. He's pulling from the stuff from the bucket. Ha ha! He's laughing at it. Ha ha! The audience is laughing it. We're picking up the stuff, and so it's like showing that it's like a Q&A. And I mean, like, this is all marketing stuff that, like, maybe if I wasn't on the fucking booth, I could like do, but it's kind of hard to do literally everything. But I think that would be like a cool thing to do, is like, hey, shoot a fucking promo video. And I mean, we've wanted to do that. We have fucking gimbals and shit. It's just a matter of like having that person come in. Realistically, we need like an in-person videographer, in-person someone who will be able to do all that stuff. They can do those promos. And so the idea with the promos is that you would have the promos, and then whenever you could probably post them whenever it's coming to the event or the day of the event. You kind of have to plan it out. Maybe you do like, here's the week, and it's all the promos for the shows that you would have in the week. Like if it's a swipe right week, it'd be swipe right. It'd be Monday open mic, swipe right, whatever Thursday, Minority Report, and then our Friday, Saturday headliner, and then whatever Sunday, Houston's Funniest +1. And then I guess you can make it would be like, I don't know. I don't think it would be a post with multiple of the videos. You could definitely do highlights. You could do highlights of the different shows where they click it and they're like, oh, what's this show about? Click. And then it's, swipe right every other Wednesday. And then it's highlights of it, or reels and stories of it, / the pictures. And then Yeah, I don't know who the promos. I'm trying to think. The promos you could definitely put on the Eventbrite for the event so that people get an idea of the gist of the show. That would be good. That's where you would put that. You could put the promo videos on the Eventbrite. You could put the promo videos perhaps as a highlight on Instagram. And then the promo videos you would give to the comedians themselves if they want to like promo, hey, we're doing this. Then they would have posters. You make sure they have posters. And then you ideally, they have specialized posters where minimum it should be their names are on the poster, and then the next step should definitely be it's a picture of them at our club on the poster saying, hey, here's this person, this person, this person, this person, and then you give it to them and then they can post it. Yeah, but then how do you create the fans? You got to give, first and foremost, it's giving the people who actually show up a reason to come again. So it's like, hey, thank y'all so much for coming out. We do this every whatever. Follow us individually and then follow the riot. And we hope to see y'all again. I do a bad job of this. It's standing at the door after the show so that people can say, oh my God, I loved your stuff. And then it's the comedian saying, hey, follow us. We'll be back again whenever. And then other than that, I don't know, man. Really, it's whenever people take the leap to actually show up, giving them such an amazing experience that they want to come again, but then also trying to get them that fan factor. It's like it's really about creating that fan who says, oh my God, I love Will Loden. I want to come back to see them. I'm going to tell all my friends about this hilarious fucking guy. I want to come out and see him when he's doing shows and see his stuff, right? It's like creating that fan, which is interesting. And maybe it's just a matter of that person seeing like Will and like as an example, like over and over and over again, right? Maybe like seeing that, like that exposure, like it's the same thing like the impressions before someone buys something, right? They got to see them a couple times or see their content, right? And then the cool thing is with specifically people like who do the You Look Like roast, right? It's like, hey, you like their stuff? Guess what? On their page they'll have clips. On YouTube you can look up the You Look Like roast, find that YouTube. You can go to the riot, you could watch the whole thing, right? And get those different like extra oh shit. Mason James has an interesting thing of this where he'll like has a fucking gajillion billion fucking clips, and then he also does well in the city. And so there have been guys who like come up to me and they're like, oh, is Mason James on the lineup? I want to see him. He's my favorite bald baby man. And it's like, okay, well, here are the shows I think he's going to be on, / you can message him, / you can see him, right? So it's a matter of, and I guess it would be really interesting to hear from people who have those type of fans. They should be asking like, oh, how did you first see me? How many times do you think you've seen me? And then what kind of made you want to come out? Like, I guess obviously what made you want to come out is the fact that they want to see you kind of perform and work out. But it would be interesting to see or come up with some kind of average of like how many times did they come to see you before they were like, oh my God, I fucking love that joke about how you're 27 but you're actually fucking look 30. Shit like that, right? That's fascinating. I wonder what does it take to make a fan? What does it take to make a fan? It's saying them a lot, knowing, and then having easy access. I think that'd be easy access. Honestly, that's something that I feel like we could also do more of / think about is like, we have shows, the precedent is set for some of our shows where we'll give money to like, for like a prize or a winner. I think that You Look Like roast could definitely have a prize attached to it where like the funniest roast of the night, the funniest audience written roast gets a gift card. Like that's the easiest, most simplest thing. We give out so much money at Swipe Right that it's the easiest fucking promo. Just give $50 to whoever writes it. $20. Someone will be happy with 20. Some drunk person will be so happy they won $20 fucking gift card for whatever. Super easy. Come on. 20 might not be 20 enough for like one GA at a show plus tax maybe. It's basically GA at a show, or just give them GA at a show. Just say, hey, you get a fucking free comp at a non-headliner show and a non-Friday Saturday show. or they get free GA for the next roast. So now you're saying you were an awesome audience participant. You engaged in the premise of the show. We want to give you something to commemorate that, to make it a special moment. And now we want to make you a fan of the show by bringing you back to the show for free. And then obviously, even if it's just a GA for one person, maybe they'll come back with people. Obviously, this is like if a comedian doesn't win. If a comedian wins, then you just say, okay, second best, that isn't a comedian. And then you just keep them coming back. That's something that I feel like we could do a lot better, is like keeping people coming back that are good. Because there have been so many people that have been super cool when I like sat them, or there was like a weird inconvenience and I had to kind of like move people. Then I'm like, and they were super chill about it. It's like, you are the type of people that we want at the club. And finding a way to incentivize those types of people. This is getting into like the meta of customers at a live, like hospitality customers, but it's the little things that make people mega fans. It's the little things that make people fucking mega fans, man. Like whenever we see people that like come to the club a lot, we're like, oh my God, thanks for coming back. We'll try our best to either get them a good spot and stuff they got, or if we have availability, depending on the show, depending on how many seats we sold, giving them a little extra, a little shine. So it's interesting in that aspect. It's like, how do we make a fan? How do we make a fan? Because there are gonna be outliers of freaks like me who had been going to fucking comedy shows since like 2018, 2019, who had just been going to shows on my own volition and trying to bring people like my own friends to, and just being involved and like watching, going to stuff, trying to go to festivals, winning shit, and doing that. So, but how do you get everyone else involved? If you like what you're listening to, welcome in. I have my only podcast sponsor is Kraken Rum. Kraken Rum, for when you want the delicious rum taste and all of the regret. Kraken Rum, very delicious. One of my favorite rums. Also sponsored by Brugal, my other favorite rum, the Dominican rum. The stream is also sponsored by Neon Genesis Evangelion. Yep, the whole franchise. Big fans. And Naruto. Yeah. I gotta practice on my sponsor. I gotta practice my sponsor shout outs. So, you know, I gotta be ready on top of my shit. I'm gonna be like the Rick Rubin of the comedy scene. This gray tank. I feel like everything I fucking post and do is in a fucking gray tank, and I'm not sure if I'm okay with it. But I think it's like I'd rather be on a gray tank. You guys didn't even know that I was wearing a gray tank until I said it. Everyone just listening in, they're like, oh, he's probably dressed in a suit, looking super cool. No, I'm in a fucking gray tank, gray sweats. Shout out to my girlfriend. It's crazy I get paid to yap now. Isn't that fucking wild? I get paid to just fucking yap. Just fucking run my mouth. And sometimes not well. Last night did not go well. I did an open mic. It was like 3 people, dog shit. And then I did a fucking show. Tuesday Gigante. Shouts out to Danny. Thank you for putting me on. I did so bad. They were just not... I don't know. I'm at the point where like I never blame the audience. Like I don't like when people say, oh, it's the audience, is the audience. I need, especially now that I'm early, I need to instill in my mind that it's not the audience. If I was funnier, they would fucking laugh. If I was funnier, they would fucking laugh. And I think as long as I chase that, if I was funnier, they would fucking laugh. Even when it wouldn't fucking matter, they would still not laugh. Like if it was at a fucking church and they weren't laughing, it's like... I should have had a better fucking blood of Christ joke. I should have had a better Moses joke, bro. I should have been better prepared. I want that delusion of like, if I was just funnier, because I can always chase being funnier. I can't chase a good audience, or at least I shouldn't. So, God, I did so bad last night. I was like, oh my God. And then it's like one of those things where it's like, I feel like what I want to work on now is my transitions and my segues, because I feel like I'm just reciting and saying jokes to them, but I'm not getting the audience involved. I'm not breaking that fucking, well, I guess not necessarily breaking the fourth wall. It's more, I guess it's, I don't know. I used to think that breaking the fourth wall would be bad. It's like I want them in that like contained, like that delusion, that suspension of disbelief. Yeah, where like they're just hanging on to all my words and they're just like in the palm of my fucking hands, right? But then now I'm like, oh, I can't even get them into my hand to like listen. They're just fucking there like nothing. So now I'm like, oh, I need to have stuff that just breaks the fourth wall, that just fucking breaks the silence. I need to be able to like chime in on something, just like kind of do it. And I could see how, and I've seen how comedians kind of use it as a crutch, where they're like, you guys didn't like that joke. And I used to like think it's so dumb, because it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're breaking them out of that immersion. But now I kind of recognize like, oh, you need something to like stop the bleeding of like they're not fucking laughing at all. You need to like it's like a bandage in a fucking giant flesh wound of like, you guys didn't like that, I'm fat, I'm ugly, haha, hee hee, and then just like something to just get them to start chuckling and then try to catch on to it. It's like rock climbing. I've never been rock climbing. I don't know why I always use rock climbing as an example. I did rock climbing at like the fucking Renaissance Festival. Shouts out to our sponsor, the Renaissance Festival, for all your Renaissance and medieval needs. Yeah, dude, fucking, it was rough, but it's fine. I mean, I did a 10-minute set a week ago. That shit was also fucking doggy basura dog shit. Shouts out to Dylan Krendrick. Thank you so much for having me on. 2 weeks ago, that one was my first 10-minute set. I did 9 minutes because they were so not laughing that I was just like, I was just rushing. And then it comes down to the fact that I don't even I need to write more. And like a lot of what I've been doing now is just kind of rewriting or like re-adding on to the stuff that I already have. I think I need to just sit down and come up with like new-ish stuff. I think if I can get my stuff where it's like 5 minutes solid, not even solid, but like I can go up and say 5 minutes and know what I'm going to say for 5 minutes. I think I need to work on the next stuff. I think I've been doing Punchline, which is Jeff Joe's show at Axelrad. Super fucking fun, super crazy, like completely different from the stuff that I had been used to, but it's so good for literally just working on your punchlines, working on your fucking tiny little jokes, like just 1 minute, and just refining that shit. And it's like, honestly, it should just be Punchline over and over and over and over. Like, I should just go up and just have one thing over and over and over, or like one set, like a minute set, just over until it's just boom, that's a laugh, boom, that's a laugh, boom, that's a laugh. Something like that, man. But then it's interesting when Jeff went up and did it to like try to break up the kind of flatlining of like a couple class acts back to back. He's like, I want to do this shit. And so he did a minute, and it was interesting. It was like a story that he likes, like something that's in his set. But it was interesting seeing how it's boom, ends on the laugh, and then everyone's ha 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 ha. So it's cool seeing in that context, seeing it in both contexts, because I've seen that joke before, heard in a set, or like he would use it in a set, and then hearing it in the context of, hey, at Punchline you have 1 minute, make the crowd laugh. And it's a good ass fucking crowd, because that shit is fucking packed, and it's actually so fucking like it's so great. It's hard to overstate how great it is. It's hard. It's easy to overstate. It's imperative to not overstate how great it is. It's an amazing fucking audience, and you're giving everyone 1 minute to try to do their fucking best. And then you give them another minute. And then you let them the audience pick, like, hey, audience, there's something in it for you. You guys get to pick who you want to see. And then they do some time and or get invited on Monday. Or I think you win to get invited on Monday. So it's like so important to like... It's so good, because it's like, okay, you don't have to sit through 5 minutes of people flatline, 3 or 5 minutes of people just flatlining. It's just back to back to back to back to back, and it can be bad, but it's back to back to back to back to back. So it's like, okay, so that's a great show. Shouts out to Punchline, Axelrad, Sundays and Mondays, man. This shit's so fucking good. Man, the first time I did it, I was so frazzled, because like I said, my biggest thing right now is just even knowing what the fuck I'm going to say, as far as like saying my jokes the way I want to say my jokes. So it's so crazy, like I'm going to have to do it out of order and like make it work and make it fit. And then I've been coming under time because like I have it in my head that I'm going to do these specific things, and then I don't even get to time. I'm just like there like, oh, but. So I think like the 4 times I've done it, like going up the 4, I think twice I was under time, and then twice I ended at time / on a punchline. And man, this last Sunday coming out of punchline, I was like so fucking like, oh, I need to write a fucking funny joke. Because it was basically like after the first round, most of the audience left and everyone was there. It was rough. And literally to survive, the comedians are coming out doing the most insane premises. Oh my God. It's like I don't even remember, but it was like the most insane premises that are just like, what the fuck? And then building on. So that initial shock. And then it's like, it's in a way, it's kind of making the audience accustomed that like, this person better come out with the fucking craziest shit you've ever heard, or we're just not going to be interested. So it's kind of crazy. And then it's like something to like punchy, break it up, fucking thing. So I'm driving home after doing this fucking punchline. I'm just like, God damn it, I need something funny. So literally driving from there to my girlfriend's house, I come up with something. It's something. It's not super crazy, but it's something where I can't wait to try it on punchline at least, because it's just back to back that is, I don't know. It's probably dog shit. It's definitely probably not amazing, but it's like the fact that I was able to try to like come up with it and write it and thing just on the drive, because I was like, fuck, I need to switch it up. And then just figuring out how the fuck I want to perform. How the fuck do I translate my funny? Figuring out what is my funny. My funny is like people will have some kind of reference or thing come up and I'll have the witty thing to say, or the sarcastic remark, or the something funny, witty, culturally relevant, culturally whatever. I had one of my super awesome experiences this last Riot Open mic. There were a bunch of Australians in the crowd and I was making comments about Australia over and over. Honestly, I should probably clip it. I'll probably clip it. I need to work on so many fucking clips. Oh, and I had to go to the club today. Oh, but I'm going to clip it. I should clip it, but it was a bunch of Australians, and then I come in like, oh, Australian people. I have a part of my set, I talk about like white people and stuff, and I'm like, oh, Australians, haha, and then I say, Aussie, oi, 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 and they fucking, they love it, and then they were with me, and they were helping laugh at like shit, and then at the end, I like threatened to do a shoey, and they're like, shoey, and I'm like, fuck that, get off stage. Apparently people don't know what a fucking shoey is. How do you not know what a shoey is? I don't know, but that's like one of those things where I was just like, what the fuck, you don't know what a shoey is? Like that's something that's definitely important to me as a person to have, as like, just, I've always been fascinated in being like this global, international kind of appeal person, culturally relevant, culturally whatever. Like I care, and I think this is my like my mission statement or something. It's close to that. It's like bringing people together, and one of the best ways to connect with people is if you can relate with their own personal experiences or their own personal cultural differences, right? So for a long time I said I'm not this is something I would say in like middle school. I'm not racist. I hate everyone equally, right? Hey, obviously being like, I love everyone. Like everyone can catch these fucking joke hands, right? And that's the beauty of it. Like to be a good racist, you gotta know your shit. You gotta do your fucking knowledge, all right? If I'm gonna make fun of Filipino people, I'm gonna say lumpia. I'm gonna talk about Tagalog. I'm gonna talk about nurses. I'm gonna talk about fucking halo halo and Jollibee, right? With these Australian people, I'm gonna bring up Vegemite. I'm gonna bring Aussie oi oi oi. I'm gonna fucking do a shoey, but not really, because I don't want my fucking shoes to be wet. So that's so important to me, and I think that's something that like I want to better incorporate, but obviously that's just going to come with time and like being in diverse crowds and being able to bring that, but and being ready to bring it, right? But I think I would be able to make those fucking snap like those fucking connections, man. Like, and I think it's so important. God, I love racism. It's great. It's wonderful. Being able to connect with people on that level. It's like, hey, I'm going to make fun of you in the most educated and culturally literate way. That's beautiful to me. I think that's fucking, that just does something for me, because I mean, I love learning like languages and stuff. So like that really does it for me. It's just knowing I'm going to fucking get you where you're at, you know? And then everyone fucking loves it. Who doesn't love being able to be highlighted in that way? Right? Like someone's specific culture, someone's specific experiences, and being highlighted like, I'm right there with you, bro. I got you. I know I'm going to connect with you, man. That's beautiful. That shit's beautiful, man. That's something that I really want to incorporate better, do more of, better incorporate. But it's just a matter of finding how it is to translate my funny. What are the aspects of me that are comedic? I like to play fake stupid. But I could also play a really good condescending, like, ooh, blah, 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 like asshole. I'm pretty good. According to all my friends on Discord, I do a great asshole impression. So like that, like asshole, like the joke is on me that I'm being so condescendingly asshole about this thing, and then in the end being wrong, or in the end being so silly, right? I think that could be a persona, right? This like asshole who thinks he's right but is just wrong, tries to be right and is wrong. What else? And then just being like thinking they're so smart but being dumb. I think I like that. Something like that. I'm trying to think of my persona. And then I like to move around a lot. I'm very physical in that aspect. I like act outs. I can do silly. I like the idea of doing silly, goofy voices, doing stuff with my voice. So just trying to think of kind of that entertainment aspect of how do I want to best perform? What does my character look like on stage that I want to, so that people can kind of like hook in, like, okay, this is this type of archetype of character. This is kind of what we're going to expect. And then maybe even breaking the expectations. I don't know. Something to chew on. Definitely something to chew on. And then something to think about as far as like writing my jokes in the voice and style of this character. This character thinks they know everything. Turns out they don't. Is an asshole and is like, meh, 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 meh. It's just people annoying. People are just like, I want to fucking rah. But then where's the funny? The funny will probably come from not knowing as much, falling flat on my face, and then like bad things happening as a result of that arrogance, I guess, right? Like, ooh, that's what they get. I think something like that. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming. Appreciate everybody tuning in. This has been very interesting and fun. Who knew that I could just yap for so much time and make it being so easy? I think we'll end it on that, man. I think I have a lot to chew on, a lot to think about. I think it's super fun. Definitely we'll talk about kind of all the other stuff going on in my life right now. Add me on LinkedIn. My name is Luis de Jesus. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to the whole fucking Houston comedy scene. You guys are fucking great. Yeah, Earth to Mars. We'll see how often we can make these bad boys, how long we can get them out, get some clips. And shouts out to the Gray Tank team, baby. That's the thing now. Fuck it, YOLO. All right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. This has been Earth to Mars with me, Marz. I'll see y'all, lovely people.